there,
listen.
y'all. This is Bobby. That's Stephy Steph. We are Between Two Teeth.
Yes, we are. We've got a special guest,
guest.
Mr.
That's
Drew
right.
Eason.
Mr. Drew Eason, Executive Director with the Florida Dental Association. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Lobby Day, and I've been instructed not to look at Drew, but at the camera.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at the camera.
Not there.
It's hard for me to have a conversation with someone and not look at them. So we're talking about Lobby Day this year. We had a lot of great issues, across, we have over, I think what the numbers were, around 1,000 dentists, maybe a little bit less than that, and dental students. And
700.
fill in for me when and Drew, you were at Lobby Day this year. Is that correct?
I was, and then just to confess here too, I am on the American Dental Association Political Action Committee. I'm on that board representing the state.
That is awesome. So now I was going to cover the issues, but I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to let you do that.
and so the issues, and the ADA did a great job, the bullet points of those issues. But what do we do? How important is Lobby Day?
Well, first, can we rotate back? Being on the ADPAC board and representing is phenomenal.
This guy's a big deal.
That's awesome, dude.
I knew something was special about Mr. Drew Eason when we met each other in Michigan way long time ago.
Oh man. Well, when I was a dental student, I was trying to figure out a way. I was trying to carve out like my piece of the pie in ASDA and just kind of figure out where I fit in. And I landed on legislative liaison. It's very intimidating, but you get to know people on ADPAC and DENPAC. I'm if you're from Texas there, and you realize how important this work is and how sometimes unappreciated it can be.
Sometimes, all the time.
Because a lot of people think it's boring, but it's so important, and the devil's in the details. And if you don't have vigilant people like the board members of ADPAC, not to mention the fundraising that goes into this, it's a big job. And so super grateful for people like you and the whole board as well. Thank you.
And I'm always amazed at how many dentists are involved in the PAC and the legislative activities. I mean, and there are folks. There was somebody recognized there. You can tell me my memory's shot. Gary Oyster,
yes.
Dr. Gary Oyster was just recognized. And I wanted to say he's given so much money and time to organize dentistry. It's just incredible amounts of money and support. That there are doctors like that out there that just understand what this is going to do to your profession.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one of the things, it's kind of weird. It's almost like military service where everybody reaps the benefit, but only a small percentage actually contribute to the work. And so there's a lot of people that are like, man, they'll either go to Lobby Day and do their, service and their time there. But that's a great way to give back and or donating to ADPAC or at your state level as well.
Right. I think a lot of reasons people don't get involved is they just don't understand it. Politics for a lot of people today in particular is distasteful and they don't want to be involved. So we like to talk about, and I know you both know this well, that we don't represent Republicans, we don't represent Democrats, that we are the tooth party, and we are looking to support and move forward legislators who support the issues that impact dentists and the patients you serve. So it's the tooth party, and we give across both parties. We're not representing one party.
Fantastic. I am so not smart. I had no idea that's what tooth party meant. I thought it was like a party. Like, honestly, like, let's have a party in teeth. That makes sense.
We do that too sometimes.
I never do that.
It's a legislative one. And I'll say this too, just because I have to, I would get killed here. The tooth party concept started here at the Florida Dental Association. So this was before me. I think Joanne Hart, our chief legislative officer, came up with that idea. We had pins, the whole 9 yards. The ADA liked it so much, they said, "Can we use it too?" And we're like, "Go!"
That is
wait
awesome.
A minute. So
there's Florida setting the tone.
Are those where the teeth pins come from?
Yes,
those are my favorite
tooth
pins.
Party.
And shout out to Dr. Duco, because one of the first meetings I went to as a dentist after graduating from residency or getting out of residency, I saw that pin on. I'm like, oh man, I've lost mine from my ASDA days. I'd love another one. He took the pin off of his suit and gave it to me. And he was like, but donate.
That's what we need.
Good job, Dr.
Yes, that's what
so
we
cool.
need out of leaders.
Yeah.
To do actions like that, to bring people along, to encourage people. So I literally thought it was a party. Now, it looked as though people were having fun there.
I think unless you're in the know on that, you may, or at least if you went to lobby day,
listen, we're
you
going
probably would
next
know.
year. We need to go next year, and we will try to make it a tooth party.
Absolutely.
So it's important work. What advice would you have for people who've never been to lobby day? Like, I've never been to lobby day.
So we just did the one for the ADA, and then here in Florida we have ours coming up in a week or two. And it's amazing how people get so scared of the idea of going to talk to a congressperson, and they're just people like you or I. And a lot of times you're talking to a staff person, not the congressman, and that's okay too because they have a lot of influence and all those kinds of things. So you just have to go do it, and when you're there, they'll pair you up typically with other people who've done it before. You have lots of support. They train you. It's super simple. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say sometimes when I go to certain legislators' offices, you're a little nervous, but it all works out fine. It's it's so worth doing, and even the first couple of days during all the training, you're seeing colleagues from across the country. They're educating you on the issues so that you can speak more intelligently about them. It's so important, and I think you both have said it. It's one of those things that people work really hard on, but it takes a long time sometimes to pass some legislation, and people aren't always patient, and they don't even know you're working on it.
Yes.
So,
and it's a messy process. Myself being on the regulatory side of the equation, you get to see sometimes how things come to fruition, and it takes a lot of people, a lot of different stakeholders. I love just the connection part. Part of what we try to do with Between Two Teeth here is to certainly connect and discover people, discover issues, and help people move along in their journey.
I think it's inspiring to me when I see the posts on social media. This is where I think social media shines, is when you do have these things and these work groups that go unnoticed because it is a long process. Social media shines because we get to show pictures. A lot of people smiling, having fun. There was a reel, shout out to Dr. Arnell Wright that did that cool reel where she was like, "What you looking for?
So
Tell us
jealous.
what you looking for."
We got what you're looking for.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
we
you were.
love
That's
it.
right.
That was so freaking cool.
background.
So that makes at least that makes people like me. I want to go.
Yes.
I like, not only do I want to go, I need to be there next year because I want to be a part of that energy and that environment.
You know,
it sounds so stuffy, and it's not.
Yes, it's not.
Sometimes, Drew, organized dentistry comes across as boring and uncool. That's why I think you got to add the party to it. At SmileCon, oh my gosh, SmileCon was an absolute blast. And we
big outdoor
parties, and we got to give shout out to, the Florida receptions that they had and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, the Florida rooms.
One of my favorite photos is me holding a platter of food, and I had a tuxedo on and had one of your 17th district aprons. So shout out to Dr. Zach for helping me out with that. So lobby day, what else? What from your perspective, Steph?
I mean, that's what I wanted to communicate was I like people such as yourself, Dr. Arnell Wright, Dr. Rudy Lydell. You guys are making this fun. And you guys are making it, we can interact with it. It's approachable. It's, you can reach people who think it is just something that, maybe it's stuffy or maybe it's not that entertaining. This is something you want to be at, and you want to be with your friends. You see your friends there. I thought it was cool. There was another post there I thought it was hilarious the way my mind works. You had like about 20 dentists around this one poor congressman's sign outside their office. I'm like, you know what? If I had 20 patients around my sign at my office and then they posted it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're gonna come get me.
Yeah.
So I loved it, and I love the energy and the vibes. Everything from Dr. James Lee. He is the new dentist committee chair this year. Seeing his speech to the American Student Dental Association and the new American Student Dental Association president, that was all amazing. I love the combination of the students and the dentists coming together on the same day for lobby day.
I totally love it. In my day, back 20 some years ago, when I was ASDA president, the person that went to lobby day was our 1 or 2 national consultants. We didn't have an executive committee presence. We didn't have trustee members there. And so to see how all of this has developed over the years
Mhm.
has been absolutely incredible. And I loved the diversity of ages that I saw there. You've got young and old, and people are going to look at issues different ways. And I think there was probably lots of mentoring down and lots of mentoring up that happened.
Oh, there sure was. And there's some really good speakers, some educational speakers, Democrats, Republicans, independents, and you learn a lot because a lot of us grew up thinking about how a bill becomes a law from Schoolhouse Rock, that if you remember the Schoolhouse Rock videos. And now you'll learn that things like we might have a bill, this happened to us in Florida, a bill that passed the House and the Senate unanimously is a really good bill, and then the governor vetoed it. And then what we know behind the scenes is the only reason he vetoed it is because the sponsor that we had, and he didn't get along, and he wasn't going to support anything that had nothing to do with the quality of the bill or our lobbying. It passed 100% in both chambers, and the governor vetoed it because he didn't like the sponsor.
And we've come full circles on soft skills.
That's the way politics go.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well, listen,
And
we so much appreciate what you do, what ADPAC does, what you guys are doing in Florida is incredible. Are we going to make a pledge that we're going to be at Lobby Day next year?
I think we have to at this point.
Yes.
You've put us up to
I've
it just
put it
now.
out there. That's right. That's right.
we already have the dates. It's in April next year, so I'll have to send
that's
you the dates. It's in
fantastic.
April.
Well, send us the dates. We want to be there. We want to see this tooth party in action. And I'm so glad you told me about the tooth party.
Thank you for representing on ADPAC, and really appreciate that. That's pretty cool to me. I think that's for some people, like that's the pinnacle as far as getting. I just want to be on the ADPAC board.
Yes.
I learned a lot from them. It's been I'm done actually in October. I'll be done with my ADPAC term.
Very cool.
But it's been very
cool. Thanks for what you do. If you like what we're talking about, please click the subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.